Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Christine DeMarco, and this is my first episode of Rambles. Currently, I'm a full-time author, but I'm not a new author. My story begins when I started writing approximately 15 years ago when I was still teaching full-time at a public high school, teaching high school physics and earth science. I wrote my first novel, and it was published under a pen name simply because I didn't want my district to know, or my students to know, what I was doing in my off time. So it was a tenuous experience. But basically, for the last 15 years, I've either been working full-time as a teacher and writing part-time, or I was tutoring full-time and writing part-time. I left full-time teaching after a medical scare about 12 years ago, and I went into tutoring, online tutoring full-time for those 10 years. And recently I've hit the point where I needed to do something for myself. The idea of teaching, it was time to leave. I'd lost the love of it. And for a little while, I'm going to take a break from it. Over the years, I've written about 20 novels under a pen name. Now this year, I have decided I'm going to start publishing under my own name, Christine DeMarco. And it's going to be my full-time endeavor. The writing has been the part that got me through the medical issue. It gave me the most pleasure. So I'm going to follow that idea. Other author channels are either what are called AuthorTube, where they teach you how to write a book or how to publish a book or things in that nature. And while I've been at this gig for a while, I know some of the ins and outs. I've never made a full-time income from it. This is a brand new territory for me. So I don't want to go into AuthorTube. The other one that a lot of authors tend to go to is something called BookTube. And BookTube is primarily a review source. People read books, they review the books, and they move on. And in neither of those cases do you ever really get to know the person behind the camera. You never get to see or understand what they're thinking, why they're doing something. And that's what I want to be able to do on this channel. And I realized that for me, this channel needs to be more about the journey. It's more of a vlog of me taking you along with me as I take the steps to go from an author who was just publishing a book here and there to doing it full time. And that's what this channel is going to be about. Now, who do I write books for? What kind of books do I write? I write, now, Christian mystery romance. And somebody's going to say, wait a minute, what do you mean mystery romance? Don't you mean romantic suspense? Not exactly. Originally, when I started off, I thought I was going to write romantic suspense. But as I started writing, I discovered my books all were lacking one primary feature. And that feature was I don't have a point of view from the antagonist. If you read romantic suspense, Nora Roberts, she's got probably about half of her books are romantic suspense, and it's always the same. You have the pair that you're dealing with, the hero and heroine, and then you always get a couple of scenes throughout the book from the point of view of the antagonist. The books I write are mystery romance. And what they are is they're really a mystery that has a romantic element to it. The characters, the hero and heroine of the story, there's always two, and there is the romantic element there, and they are working together to solve the mystery or the crime, but you, the reader, learn about the clues or the actions that the antagonist has taken as the hero or heroine does. So that's what makes it different. That's the difference between a mystery romance and a romantic suspense. And I didn't choose to write mystery romance as it went on. It was just something, that's how I wrote the story. I discovered that as I went on. So that was more of a discovery, not an intention. But I see no reason to change it. They're all good books. They're all fun. Now the Christian part. Why do I say Christian? Well, let's start with, I firmly believe that a story can be entertaining, engaging, and emotionally satisfying, and not go down to questionable morals or vulgar language, promote drinking or drugs. We can get to all that, the same pieces in the story, without all the garbage. And so when I started writing, again, I started writing for my children. I started writing books that I could read to them or let them read when they were teenagers. And I just naturally gravitated to that end. Again, as time went on, I discovered that all of my characters have very strong morals, and they tend to be strong characters themselves. And in times of need, they often turn to God. So it was a very short slide over into the Christian market. These books are not going to be evangelizing. They're not going to quote scripture. They're not going to push it down somebody's throat. It's a byproduct. It's a very small portion of the book. I admit that freely. But it does, again, show God's love. It shows that we can turn to Him in times of need, and therefore it's worth looking at. So what is this channel going to do? Well, I really don't want to do this as a talking head video, but here I am today as a talking head. Why? Well, this is the third time I've tried shooting this video today. I started off by taking a walk with my dogs, and I didn't have the camera working quite right, so that didn't work. I tried going outside later on to do it again, and there was just too much wind in the microphone. The audio wasn't good. And the reality is, people aren't going to watch a video if the audio or the video isn't quality. So that's why we're doing this the third time. And this time I'm trying it just sitting here on my front porch, letting things happen behind me, hoping my dogs don't go too nuts, and just trying to be who I am. Where will this channel go? Well, this channel is going to follow me as I go on this journey. You're going to get to see a little bit of my writing style. You're going to see a little bit of how I plan things out. But I'm also going to try to make sure we take some field trips. We do some things. I have a series that I'm basing here in the Western New York area. And so I'm going to take the camera, and we're going to go to visit these places. We're going to see some areas that I may decide to use in a book. And I think this will be kind of fun for you as a reader. You get to see what I'm, where we are and some of the area in Western New York and the surrounding regions. And you'll also get a chance to hear my thoughts on how I might incorporate a certain location into a book or into a scene. And the really fun part would be, of course, if you read the book and you see how it incorporated. Did I meet the expectations? Did we get to where we wanted to be with that? So that's where this channel is going to go. I'm hoping we're not going to have too many talking head videos, but we're going to have a couple, and I know that. There'll be some times where we're just going to do some things totally outside, and you're going to get a chance to see me doing things other than writing. You're going to get a chance to be out in my shop a couple of times as I work on a couple of the projects out there. And if you're wondering what kind of projects I have in my shop, the first one I'm going to be completing shortly is I'm refurbishing a pop-up trailer. And then I'm getting into the one I really want to do, which is I'm going to start building an airplane. So if you want to see more of that, you want to hear more about this journey and see how it goes, as someone who's taking writing as a full-time career the second time around, tune in again. If you'd like to see more of what I do or learn more about me, check the description below. You'll find a link to my website, and as a special gift, you'll also find a link to getting Blindsided Heart, which is the first book. Actually, it's the prequel of my Heart Island series. You can get that absolutely free. So I hope to hear from you, and we'll talk soon.